it's supposed to be like a big deal now. If you even like talk about the pandemic, it's like a trigger word for YouTube or whatever. But I'm going to talk about it because it goes into my blueprint and how I think we're going to get in a position of power, make more money, live a slightly better life, even just slightly. So I started hearing about the pandemic, believe it or not, early, like late 2019. I started hearing about this virus, and I think they were talking about it like as if it went from China to New York. We weren't really hearing about it like affecting Connecticut until 2020. And then it started really sinking in that this could be serious. I would say about 2020. It started feeling serious to the point where it was affecting jobs. And I thought it was a good time. I just started driving like 2018. And probably my best year was probably 2019 because I didn't do all of 2020. So the pandemic starts, the government starts panicking, start coming up with solutions. A lot of grants, loans were being thrown around to help small business people during this transition because it was a struggle. If you were a small business owner, it was a struggle. It still is, but even more so then. I was even afraid to drive during most of the pandemic. So I started hearing about the EIDL, I want to say first. And it led me down this rabbit hole of all these online marketers, whatever you want to call them, and some of them started making sense. They were like, go ahead and apply as a gig worker. And for the first time, as far as I know, the government considered gig workers a real small business, where in the past you had to have like an LLC or corporation set up. You didn't need that to apply as a gig worker because most gig workers are sole proprietors in their own name. Hence the reason why my SBA loan is not on my credit report, my personal credit report, because it's a business loan. So I was able to, first they said we're going to base it on the net, which didn't work for most people because after deductions, you didn't really make nothing. So then they changed it to gross, which helped a lot of people out like me. Over time, I got bits and pieces of it, but I got a total of $72,000, and I'm currently not in default. I'm on still good terms with them, barely chipping away at it, but I'm still on good terms with them, with the SBA. And that's just the loan. Along with that, they came up with these micro grants to even help further. So I got one for 10, and then later there was an even smaller one for 5. I got that. The PPP came along, and I'm sure a lot of you remember the PPP. A lot of you were scamming to get the PPP. I'm not saying you guys personally, but a lot of people are scamming just to rush and set something up just to get the PPP. As a gig worker, I didn't have to scam. I literally just applied as normal. I found out, I forgot which guy online I followed, but they told me how to just walk through the steps. This is why YouTube is important. I learned all this from YouTube. Started going in, applying. I got the PPP, a little bit less than 10, a little bit less than 8 grand. I think it was 7,800. And some change maybe. Then later, I want to say about 6 months later, they were like, oh, we're waiving to PPP, but you got to apply for that. I did that, and because I was still struggling, I was able to get it waived. So technically, the 10 grand was a grant. I never have to pay back. The 5 grand was a grant. Never have to pay back. The 7,800, I don't have to pay back. I'm still owed the SBA 72, but there's gig workers that got a lot more than that. Then I'm finding out about SAM.gov later on, fast forward, and finding out there's a lot of grants that most of you are approved for. All you need is an entity. Some of them you don't even need the entity, but to get the maximum amount of reach on a lot of these, set up a basic LLC. I would tell you to do a low risk code. Here's the blueprint. I'm gonna give you the whole blueprint in this video. Get your iPad or your paper if you want to go old school. Take some notes. Set up a basic LLC, a generic name. Try not to make it your last name. I'll give you an example. Shania Business. Doesn't really mean anything. I looked it up. Shania actually means wealthy in Swahili, I believe it is. African, I believe. I don't even recommend you get that creative. Make something easy to spell. But yet, you don't have to attach anything on the end that gives away what you do, like marketing or transportation or whatever it is you do. You don't have to add that on the end. Just make it generic. I would take a simple code like software publisher, low risk, and when I say code, the NAICS code. In the past, I've told people business services or management. The reason why those two are a problem, they're too much of a broad range, because business services could be anything. But I think a lot of these institutions want you to narrow down exactly what it is, make it simple, but yet it still could be a category for a lot of things. I'll give you examples. When you walk in a bank and your code is business services, they're going to ask you immediately, what do you do? If you say the wrong thing, now you put yourself in a different category. Software publisher, most banks know what it is. It automatically is a category for most banks, or subcategory. And you could do multiple things under that. You could be media company, YouTube, and e-commerce. I would not use any of those or tell them to do any of those, because they're higher risk than something simple as software publisher. See what I'm saying? E-commerce, even though it's lower risk than transportation, it's still the highest in that category. You know, software publishers, low risk, simple code. Most banks know what it is. You got your business name. You need a real business address. UPS stores do not work. Has to be like Regis or something similar to it. I'm sure if you Google real business address, they'll help you with that. Do not use your home address. Do not use what they used to be called, mailbox, etceteras. They're now UPS stores. UPS stores, I think, are good for replacement, maybe for like home mail. Even though they offer business, I would not use them because they don't come up that way. I would get a real 1-800 number. Like a Ring Central. I don't particularly like that company, but I'm just giving you an example. Link it to your cell phone. A lot of these companies now, when you call from your cell phone, the person sees it as coming from your office, from the 1-800 number. I like that. You cannot use like Google Voice. It has to be like 1-800 number if you want to be 100% legit. What I left out in a lot of my a lot of my videos was a business email, a real business email. Go to Google, get a real business email, not a Gmail, a real business one. Like your business name, info@yourbusinessname.com. Really all you need is the email address, but I would obviously, it makes sense to have the website to match. Makes sense. So now you look legit. And now you go to sam.gov, you register there. You know, that's like a nationwide one as far as I know, sam.gov. And another one is Hello Alice, I believe it's called. If I remember, I'll put links underneath this video for both of those, if I remember. Regis, do that one if it's in your area, or do a competitor, whatever's local to you. Regis just happened to be local for me, like literally right in my city. These are the things that's going to make you look legit. Now, when you go to sam.gov, you'll see there's a million different things that under that NAICS code, you could apply for a lot of stuff, because sometimes they don't even care about your actual code. You know, you could do stuff with a software publisher code and still do something in transportation, say. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have a division that handles that. But keep it low risk. And even if you are in transportation, the taxi delivery code is lower risk than, say, trucking. So find the lowest risk code that kind of goes with what you're really going to do. You know, I wouldn't do marketing because that's higher risk than software publisher, for example. I wouldn't do trucking. I would do taxi and delivery because that's lower risk than trucking. You know what I'm saying? And don't attach trucking or any of that stuff on the end. I hate when people use transportation in the name of their business. Don't use anything to give off what you do in your business name if you can help it. You'll find there's a lot of grants on there that may not qualify for you, but you could still receive. I'll give you an example. And you know, I don't want to get political, but I'm sure a lot of you are complaining that a lot of these grants are for minorities. Let's just say I was a white male. I know I'm not, but let's just say. And I wanted to get a grant that they're giving out for, I know somebody that's an Asian woman, say. Pacific Islander or whatever category they got it. They have grants for those people. You could partner with that person. Let's say I have a grant for black women businesses. You could partner with that person. You could find the grants, go to that person and be like, look, I found this grant. If I help you apply and receive this grant, will you give me a percentage? You'll find a lot of businesses will be more than glad to work with you. More than glad. This is the blueprint to getting the money you need to grow your business. I'm working on this right now. I haven't partnered with anybody, but this is something I'm working on with a brand new business because I didn't like how my old company was set up. So I'm going to set up a brand new business for this, put it in sam.gov, Hello Alice, and I believe once you get enough trade lines, you'll be able to find that you can get a lot of corporate credit once all the banks that you have are working with a low risk code. I would get a fintech bank to start. You start making some real money. Then I would move to like a top 5 bank, what I call an anchor bank, like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They're all shady. Just pick one. You can have some of your fintech money go to that bank, however you want to work it. and maybe also get a credit union. So fintech bank, anchor bank, and a credit union. You want to put the bulk of your money in the anchor bank if possible. I would use the fintech bank as almost like a savings account. And the second most money I would have would probably be the credit union. You could take the same company, put money in all three of those under the same company name. Where are you getting the money from? You got to find a way to generate, I would say, $4,000 to $5,000 a month. Get it into that account. Whether you got to use gig economy, whether you got to babysit, side hustles, however you got to do it, get that money into that business account, and you'll start getting grants. The grants you don't have to pay back, but even if you start getting business loans, corporate credit, you could grow your business. And here's the beauty part about it: you don't even have to be making any money. You could be partnering with people and taking a fee for just helping them apply for these grants and loans. Under the software publisher code, you can have a business that low-key helps people apply for more money. I'm giving you the blueprint. I'm giving it away. So literally your company could be charging fees just to help people. Because even though I'm telling you this, probably 1% of you will actually do what you got to do to make this happen. 1%, if that. And that's 1% that's actually going to watch my video. A lot of people aren't going to watch the video to the end. They're not going to take action. And that's why there's so much money out there. Most people never took action. The minute COVID dropped, I was online on YouTube, guys. I didn't even drive Uber. I literally stayed in the house for 6 months and just binge watch enough video content to figure out how to apply for loans and grants and get this money. And there's still money out there. Check with your accountant, but the people that never got the EIDL, I believe they can still get money. In the Biden administration right now, I believe they're still giving out money. I don't know what they call it, but ask your accountant, is there a tax credit called 7505? And I believe Biden administration is still giving out up to $35,000 for a brand new business. The money's out here, guys. We just gotta get it. And if you need help, I got help for you. WilliamBlaney.com. Go to the links below. WilliamBlaney.com. I'm giving you the blueprint on this video, but if you want me to hold your hand and help you through the process, literally hold your hand, come to your house. If you're in Connecticut, I will do that. It's called the Partnership Coaching Program. And if you want to send me business, I will pay you for doing it. I will give you $197 for every person you send to me that signs up for this coaching program. That's how serious I am this year on helping people find and get this money and get their LLC started. Go to the links below. Subscribe, like, comment. Please keep supporting the channel. That's how I grow. Please check out all my socials. Help support me, because I'm going to be giving out a lot of information that's going to be helping small businesses get this money, either through grants, loans, however we got to get it. Thank you guys for your time, your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.